everybody. Let's see why this isn't working. Hello, everybody. Let's see why this isn't working. There you go. Hello, everybody. There you go. Okay, this is, like I said, mainly just going to be testing that any of these things work, since I've been working on getting this all set up. This is, like I said, mainly just going to be testing that any of these things work, since I've been working on getting this all set up. This is, like I said, mainly just going to be testing. So first thing we've got is a whole bunch of double audio because I have my stream up in a different tab, so I shouldn't have that happening anymore. Cool. Then moving on to what we're doing. So, welcome to the Jank Drawer. This is going to be the home of just all of my creative endeavors. My name is Sam. Main focus of this is going to be finding the narratives and the stories that are going to be so ripe and plentiful in not only the games that we're going to be playing, but also in the work that we're going to be doing, with a focus mainly in the streaming right now on Football Manager 26, a game that I've been playing for a while now. It combines a lot of my favorite passions, both for football as well as managing games and strategy games, all together into a really strong narratively focused thing. Right now we're still in the beta, so we're just going to be learning as we go together and figuring out where that'll take us. Right now we're going to be doing with Bournemouth. I got a lot of the setup done in some early test footage that I was shooting for the YouTube channel promotional video. That being said, the main focus of that channel will be to explore the narratives both here as well as in the ones that we create in our own lives. I have a lot of passions in my life. Almost all of them revolve around storytelling in one way or another. And the most common way that I am able to express that is through tabletop RPGs, where I've been running several multi-year-long campaigns and been working in that space and designing that space for a couple of decades. And that's going to be one of the main focuses there. But mainly, I just like creating things, and I haven't had an opportunity to do that a lot in life, and now seems like a good time as any to just start doing that, push myself out of my comfort zones and start seeing what sticks. And that's what the Jank Drawer is celebrating, is my own passions and my joy of creation, and letting me have a creative outlet to share that all. And I have a lot of really fun plans over the next couple of months. Right now we're just trying to take that first plunge, though. So without any further ado, let's take the first plunge into this Bournemouth save. And as we're doing that, I'll try and explain what I have gotten up to catch you guys up on where I have been and what I've done, since we aren't starting with like creating a manager or things like that. Because it's the beta, I just gave myself all of the highest abilities, both for badges and playing time expectations. I don't think that in any in the long-term save that I'm planning, I don't know that we're going to keep doing that, but the main point of this beta is just to learn what all of the new changes are from FM24, since I've been playing that for several thousand hours over the past couple of years, and getting into the top flight without something that's necessarily so financially available. Your league leaders, your Man Cities, your large clubs like Liverpool or Arsenal or anything like that. Getting in with Bournemouth, a team that I've actually been really enjoying following and watching them play for the past several years. I think they've really established themselves at this point as a solid team in the top flight of English football, and we want to see what we can do to take them there and continue going further and further. As for what we've accomplished in the save, we have identified a couple of key things, mostly about squad selection, and things like that. Previously, I had played all the way through the first preseason game. It looks like the last time that the game saved, though, was at the beginning of the save, though. So we're going to be just taking it all over from the beginning, which is fine. We can work through all of these things. Like I said, I've been really interested in Bournemouth and what they've been doing for the past several years, ever since they got promoted back up into the Premier League from the Championship. They've done a lot of really smart business of using data to drive their acquisitions, buying players very cheap from less known leagues, bringing them into their system, and playing just really concise, controlled ball, and then ultimately selling on those players that they find to the larger clubs higher up the table for significant profit. Case in point for that, recently in this season, if we go to transfer activity and transfer history, like I said, we're still trying to learn how this all works. But they sold Milos Kerkez earlier this summer on a large fee to Liverpool. No, I don't want this. I want this. Kerkez' specific transfers. Yeah, having brought him from Izid Alkmaar for 17, and then moving him on to Liverpool after 2 full years in the Premier League for 54 million is just great business. And there's going to be a lot more of that, and that's what we're trying to hope to do here. As with anything, though, the first thing that we need to do as we go through our portal here is we're going to work our way through these things, and I'll show you the ways that I like to look at it and things that we're trying to do as we continue to follow those same models. We want to make a lot of data-driven decisions, both looking at attributes and things like that, but as the window progresses and as we get into being able to have actual data from performances in both preseason and actual matches towards the end of the window, we're going to be looking at how our team has been stacking up and positions that we'd like to improve upon and how we would like to improve on them based off of data-driven decisions. And we're not going to probably make it that far today since I have a previous appointment at 5, but large in part, this was mainly just to practice doing all these things and figuring out what's going on. And as part of that, let's get the audio swapped over to FM. If we can get audio here. We are definitely not getting any audio here. So, let's figure out how we did that. Like I said, the whole point of this is trying to figure out how to get all of the sound, everything working. So I appreciate any patience and understanding in that. As soon as we can get it going, we will figure out how to move on. But that's while I'm working on troubleshooting, what we can do is we can figure out and talk about a little bit about Bournemouth and what we are trying to do and who some of these important players are that we're going to be focusing on, and some ideas of places that we're going to try to improve upon, and areas in the window that we think we can make some real differences. Currently, I can't figure out how to get anything going. But, so, Bournemouth, currently our highest league position we've ever gotten is 9th. In the real world right now, Bournemouth is doing significantly in the league right now. They are doing really well. They've been playing some really good football, and have, because of that, found themselves in the enviable position of 5th, which is European spots, which is huge. And we want to try and mirror that the best as we can, and figure out how we are going to do that. Some key players on how we are getting there for us, as well as for the real life squad as it is. Are a lot of players such as survivability, Evan Nilsson, Antoine Semenyo has been lights out for them this season. Kluivert was a revelation last year, and we hope to have him build on that performance this year. Evan Nilsson has been really just good up front, not necessarily being in the goals, although he has the capability of doing so, but also because of his ability to provide good link-up play and solid interactions for our wingers and our inside forwards that are going to be cutting in and doing that, as well as the likes of Lewis Cook and Ryan Christie coming through the middle, and Marcus Tavernier has for a long time also been really good at just coming in off of those things, making those channel runs, and getting into dangerous places and scoring goals. And that's what we're going to try and hope to have Evan Nilsson do for us as well, is just continue providing that link-up play so that we can be able to get the goals that we need, as well as we are very much a part of a side that is good at developing young talent and pushing them to greater and greater heights. We have several former and current Wonder Kids on this team. We have Alex Scott, who many people who have played FM24 will recognize from just the masterclass that he was able to put on in those games. He was able to just be such a great creative presence, either through the center of the pitch, at any of the 3 center positions, DM, midfielder, or attacking midfield center, as well as coming in off of the right if you really needed him to. He continues to be able to provide that for us in 2026, as well as Ben Gannon-Doak, who we have recently picked up, who is just an all-around great winger and will provide great cover behind Antoine Semenyo, as well as challenging for places throughout the season. We've been able to really shore up that with the addition of Emin Adli, who's great at playing all across a front 3, as well as the one that we're all very excited about, Eli Junior Krupi, who we have just brought in at Bournemouth. Bournemouth has brought him in real life just this season to be the youngest option in that center forward position, behind Evan Nilsson and Enes Unal. He's going to get a lot of playtime for us, mainly just because Enes Unal is out for 4 to 5 months, and so our backup striker we got to promote from within, and that'll bring us to Junior Krupi. Real life right now, he's been playing lights out. His first game that he started for the team in the league, he scored a brace, and as of right now, he's their second leading scorer behind Antoine Semenyo. And then behind him is just Alex Scott. But really, the main focus we've got going for us this year is we really want to just play off of Semenyo. He is, if you look at it, tied for one of the best players on our team. 25, he's in the prime of his not even yet into the prime, and he's still growing, as well as like looking at value, which isn't necessarily the best evaluation of who your best players are, but is a pretty solid one. We see that he is one of the top 5 most valuable players at our club, behind Justin Kluivert, who once again is also going to be very key for us when he comes back, and I feel the same thing would be true in real life if he was not injured at the time, we're still at this point just barely getting Justin Kluivert back from injury in real life, and then we have some good solid performances behind Evan Nilsson and Diakite that we're going to look to build on altogether. But we've got a lot of those there. When it comes to setting up my squad, I look at this team, and what I'm going to look at is, as we were looking at our previous viewpoint, we look at who are our star players, who are our best players. Once again, I don't really love relying 100% on star ratings, but star ratings are generally a good first look at doing a quick evaluation, and then when we want to get more details, we can look in at actual individual statistics for the various roles we're going to do. So what we need to look at is these, as well as another thing that I like to look at real quick is contract, to just look at playing time expectations, which isn't showing here, but we sort by playing time. The expectations are, even if they're not showing, gonna show us basically the team as we should pick it based off of who's expecting to be on the pitch the most. Evan Nilsson, Jordi Petrovic really want to be up there, which is fine. We want Evan Nilsson to be our link-up guy. He's our target forward / deep lying playmaker, deep lying forward. He's going to be coming in to get the ball, setting people up. We like him to be a goal threat, and he is one of those as well. 16 finishing, 16 technique, 16 composure, 16 off ball are all really good, and then he's just a good combination of really strong, good balance. Not the tallest at 6 feet, but with 14 pace, 14 stamina, and 13 jumping reach, he can win the balls in the air that he needs to, bring them in, and then get them to the places he wants to go with that 14 passing and 14 vision. He's really good if we look at it for our deep lying forward that we want to be playing. He is at all of the things that he needs to be good at to play that role. Excellent. And that's what we want him to be. We want him to try and just get all of the balls that we're going to put into him with his back to the goal, find his outlets to either out on the left or right, Semenyo or Kluivert or whoever we have playing in there. Ben Doak, Alex Scott, Tavernier if he's playing out right instead of he's playing through the middle or in the midfield pairing. He's going to be really key for us. And so when we look at these, or if we go back to our, not selection info, our general info, and look at these lists here, we're going to try and get all these in here. One of the things that I'm not super digging right now is that Luis Sinisterra, a guy that should be really good for us, is still on loan out to CEC in Brazil. It's fine. We'd like to have him, but to just kind of eliminate that from what we're looking at, we will filter out all the people that are not at the club. And that'll get rid of him from our evaluation. Love that we're sending people out to Brazil, though. As a Portuguese speaker, always love to support that. Hey, Ana Ramos. We can look into it for sure, signing those players. We haven't gotten through what the signing philosophy is that I'm gonna have on this, but the real idea that we have here is that I'd love to get people in from especially Peru or underrepresented and smaller market areas, because generally when we look at it, if we go to club and finances and look at what we're looking at for a transfer budget, we have only 23 million to spend or even less than that. We have 3.1 million to spend uh, in total this season. And the way that we're able to spend that is we got to make smart signings, and we got to look for talent in markets so we can try and bring people in at our small budget that are going to be really good, either with some development time or just opportunity that we can give them here at Bournemouth. But before I have to get off here in the next couple of minutes, let's at least look through, now that we've looked at our squad, what we're going to look at for a tactic for this. Really big on this new in and possession, out of possession system. For that, I like doing a gegenpress. Looking at our squad when we're looking at it, I like the total number of holding midfielders that we have between Ryan Christie and Lewis Cook and Adams and just all of these things. So I'm feeling a 4-3-3. I could throw all of those in there, as well as letting us have Semenyo and Kluivert when he's back and all those other people playing through here. And then we don't have enough good quality at center back that I would be comfortable playing a 3 at the back, so we're going to play here. And that's going to be our formation in possession. And out of possession, because we have such key players here that we want to be able there, and all these things, we have to admit that in the Premier League, Bournemouth, we are not a big fish. We're going to be trying to attack as much as possible, and we'll get to that when we get to our actual instructions. But when we fall back, we want to be defensively solid, and the way that I feel we accomplish that is that we pull these wingers in so that out of possession we fall into a 4-1-4-1, and then we've got just kind of 2 large walls defensively, and then this central defensive midfielder that's able to stop in gaps and fill in where we need him to, whether that be falling back into essentially a 5-4-1 or filling this gap between the lines, which is, I think, going to be really important for us. And so what that gets us to is we can look at our tactics here together. In possession, what we know is we want that this is going to be our Evan Nilsson position. We want him to be a deep lying forward. He's going to be dropping into the space here and providing link up for that. But because he's providing link up, we need our wingers to, instead of staying wide and out like this, cut in, which is where the inverted winger inside forward comes in. Inside forward, we're looking at probably going to be our Semenyo coming in off the right, getting on the end of the balls, and getting a lot of these through passes in from Evan Nilsson there, as well as then our inverted winger coming in. But if we're pushing these guys in, what that means is we want the availability for our wingbacks here to come up the sides, and we want them getting into pretty advanced positions to be able to provide crosses in, because we've got not the tallest and strongest people, but we're going to be trying to put a lot of people into the box. So to get that, we're going to have this be a wingback. Specifically, we would like this to be wingback in support, and then we'll have wingback on attack here on the right. And then, as for our center backs, we actually have some pretty good center backs between Marco Senesi, and Bafede Diakite. That we want to have them in there. Diakite as late ball playing center back. We don't want him moving up to DM because we actually really want to keep our big guys at the back. because our DM is actually a position that we are pretty confident in, with it being any of Tyler Adams or Lewis Cook or Ryan Christie or Alex Scott. Like, we have a lot of good options here. Because of that, currently all of them are either on holiday or injured. But in our ideal formation, Tyler Adams is going to be our DM, and we want him to just be an actual defensive midfielder. We don't need him to be our playmaker, because our playmaker is actually going to be out here in this position, and that's going to be usually our Alex Scott, who we have him in the team for his playmaking ability. Specifically, we want him to be in this new midfield playmaker. He's expressive, he can create threats. He's just good at all of the things that you want him to do in this position, and we want to just be getting the ball through him. And as part of that, we want someone to get on the end of these, so essentially our box crasher in this is going to be our channel midfielder. And as our channel midfielder, this is where we're going to put in a lot of times our Lewis Cook or our Ryan Christie, or in our current instance where both of those are injured, either is going to be our Marcus Tavernier, just running in, getting on the end of balls, crashing the box. These are all things that he's particularly good at. And it gets him into positions where he can be problematic with his 15 off the ball, with his 15 work rate. He can just try to crash and find the channels that he needs to do, make supporting runs, link in with especially these guys that are getting in. For right now, we'll just put in Adley on the left, Semenyo on the right, Evan Nilsson up front, and then our wingbacks is one of the positions that we're going to look to improve on. We have Truffert on the left, and then we have Julio Soler, who can fill in behind him. Once again, I like to build 2 full 11s, essentially a starter and a backup. And then once we have a starter and a backup, I like to find youth talents behind them, or young players, and we're going to be trying to sign players under the age of 23 at this point. But then on the right, when we look at it, our options are a little bit more slim, because we have Adam Smith, who is great and is our leader on this team and doing really well. But he is, if we go into him, 34 years old, and we don't know how much longer he's going to be able to perform at the levels that he used to. He's got great natural fitness and stamina, so he'll be good for a while. But he's already not that good at jumping. He's only 5'11". He's got 9 strength. But he does do a job. He's got teamwork. He's got work rate. He'll be good throughout the season, but he's immediately the one that we're looking to replace in this team as soon as possible with a good backup. And right now, our options aren't that deep. We only have currently behind him Cook, who can fill in if we need him to, and then Jimenez, who we have in on loan from AC Milan. And how do I look at his contract? He has his own contract. Either way, he's kind of our backup on both sides, and he's good, don't get me wrong. He's young and he's available, but He's here only temporarily. If I can figure out how to look at his contract, we can see if he is someone that we are looking to bring in at the end of his loan on a more permanent basis. But if not, we still need to fill this right back position. So that's going to be our main focus. But I got to get going. This is going to be hopefully a good first look at what streaming will be. I know at least I'm having fun, but it was mainly just to test the equipment, test all of the other stuff, and make sure that there. And there's obviously some learning opportunities. We never got the music working, but always things to work on for next time, and I'm excited about that. Well, thanks anyone.